because this is where it leads into self-care. Because in this moment, this little so-and-so could give a crap how you're feeling, and I'm trying to embody that for you, because the only thing that's left right now is what you do to take care of yourself now that you feel like this. Because you're still looking at them to change so that you're happy.
Well, I feel like you're saying I have to have all the tolerance and they have to have none of it.
You have to take 100% responsibility for your happiness. They don't.
Well, that would make me happy to have all that tolerance. To let them...
So, what does taking care of yourself when that's going on look like? And them going away, them not being around, being the sole thing of your happiness? That's not true. You're a mom. And I know...
teach the children tolerance is what
Yeah, we're not talking about the children. We got to talk about your self-care. That's what we have to talk about, because you're still looking to change them, and every time
that to me is what being a parent is you role model, you teach, you bring them up.
So how do you role model self-care? Because all the behaviors you're talking about are not indicative of self-care, of that child taking care of themselves. Does that make sense? When you say a child's misbehaving, okay, and that will lead to their suffering or pain, that's not self-care, right? Now, you just said being a parent is about role modeling. So you trying to change them is not role modeling. That will only model how to change someone else's behavior. I'm saying that your behavior towards yourself is what you're actually wanting to role model. Because you have a successful life, you have a happy marriage, you've got children who are doing well. And how did you get those things?
By playing by the rules.
Great. So playing by the rules is one of the ways that you practice self-care. The rules help you. Let's use the word compass. You use your compass for self-care. Now you got a kid who their moral compass is shattered. And they're not just going to suddenly take on yours, because he's still trying to wade his way through theirs.
So you say, okay, here you can have your cell phone even if you're misbehaving?
No, absolutely not.
So what?
Who pays for this cell phone?
We do.
Then it's not theirs.
Right.
So turn it off.
Okay. When do you turn it back on? At what point?
When you feel that that's something that you're willing to do. But that's about your feelings. It's not about his actions.
But I'm not going to feel that way until they behave.
Right. It is about his actions.
If he behaves, then I will be willing to. Is that healthy? Be honest with what you think.
Yeah, I think it's healthy to say, if you meet these requirements, this action will happen. This is a natural consequence.
So you're right. That is the healthy version of everything we're talking about. Mm-hmm. That is the healthy version, but I want to make very clear on how we're talking about it right now. The emotions out of it. This. So done with you.
Right, that's very different. That's very different.
You're going to focus on this rather than, and you're going to focus on this rather than what you just did.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. If I look at this and I go, okay, he's got that cell phone. What am I really angry about? I'm not angry about what he just did. I'm angry about the fact that I provide a lot of things for this kid and it doesn't seem to matter. Why am I providing these things for this kid? Especially if it doesn't matter. You know what? I'm not willing to provide things to someone who doesn't matter to them. And that's what you say. You never say what they should or should not do. You say what you're willing and not willing to do.
I think we've especially with Gazaj, gotten in this pattern where that's where the obsession with the checks box for him comes from, is because we do say, if you do this and this, you will get this. So he goes through the check boxes, but I don't think he's ever associated it with, I provide you too much.
And he won't till he's around 28, until we teach him how to associate in that way.
But it's been the easier way to get through to the next point, is to just check these boxes off, please, so I can give you your cell phone
And when
back.
he does that make you willing to change? When all his boxes are checked off? Is that where you find your willingness, or do you find your willingness from a feeling you have?
It's a visual. It's more able to be seen. Like it's more tangible than I feel better about providing this for you. So it's easier to manage with the multiple parenting units, and it feels like he's making progress, even though he's probably just checking the boxes, similar to when he first got here.
So now what we're talking about is we've gone beyond the checking of the boxes into the feeling. Okay? And that's right. Is that as a parent, your job is that your instincts guide your actions. Part of the rules and your instincts and core beliefs are about having that moral compass very aligned. And that's accurate. That's exactly how you're supposed to parent. The problem comes from when, if they don't follow yours, they're bad. Now, that doesn't mean that they get to do whatever they want, because that's irresponsible parenting.
You just don't have to provide them a cell phone.
That's right. Because if you're not willing to...
if they're looking at porn on their cell phone, you don't have to provide it.
When you've got a kid 15, 16, 17 years old smoking pot, and you've bought them a car or are going to buy them a car, and you're going to pay for their insurance, and you're going to make sure they have their license and registration and all that, common sense would say to me is, what kind of person are you that would provide a vehicle of death and destruction to someone who's using drugs? But if we say, when you stop doing drugs, I'll give you a car, their defensive mechanism is going to be, you're a bitch. Versus, I'm willing to provide a car, or I'm willing to provide insurance for someone who doesn't use drugs when they drive, or when they doesn't drink, or doesn't. But see, it's about what you're willing to do and not do, not what they should or should not do. They still get free choice. The piece that we're missing when we start to lay these down is that free choice. When I say, if you get all these boxes checked and pass all your work, I'm happy to provide a graduation ceremony for you. But my happiness, when I said I'm happy, my happiness is not contingent. My love for them is not contingent on their actions. I love them no matter what, and I'm happy no matter what. You stay for 6 months, you stay for 2, you stay for 12, you stay for 5. I'm happy. When Kalen, who we're working with right now, he was going into his 2 weeks before his pass, starts acting out, the sabotage behavior starts. I bring him into my office, and I said, I'm so frustrated and sad right now. I said, but that's not your responsibility. I said, what I see and what I read every night going on is that you're being disruptive and you're doing all these things. And I said, it makes sense to me that you're doing these things, because I would imagine you're very nervous about going home. Does that sound accurate? I am. I said, well, that makes sense. I said, I want you to know what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to sign off on a pass for someone who is really demonstrating that they can follow the rules here. Because I believe that if you follow the rules here, you can follow the rules at home. And whether you do or not is up to you. But I also want you to know that I'm willing to take away someone's plane ticket the night before they fly. And I have before, on a final graduation. And I said, I love you, Kayla, no matter what.
This seems like semantics. It's the same at the bottom level. The actions are all the same.
I agree, Mark. I think from what I'm getting is going right back to the core of love and logic. It's how you're framing it for yourself and for them.
Yes.
And rather than trying to get into a power struggle,
yes,
you're setting up the infrastructure of natural consequences and allowing them to experience the natural consequences, either positive or negative, and walking away from it.
You're absolutely right. It is semantics. But the semantics are everything about me practicing self-care versus me expecting you to change so I'm happy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I don't give a shit if you get your cell phone back or not.
That's right. Now, the way you said that, though, is very violent.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit. Because all the kid's going to hear is that you don't give a shit. Okay? Versus, I'm happy to hold on to your cell phone as long as you need me to. And I'm so excited for you to have one back.
But I don't need you to hold on to my cell phone. I'm happy to have it back right now.
You said that makes sense to me that you don't need me to hold on to your cell phone. But let me tell you what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to provide a cell phone to someone who doesn't use it to sex or buy drugs or make plans with friends to sneak out at night. I am not willing to support someone, and it's all about what I'm willing and not willing to do as an adult. And what's great, and I hear you nailed on one of people's frustrations with Love and Logic and the natural consequence. Adults, as parents, we're allowed to be a part of the natural consequence of the world. This is not taking away your right to be a part of their consequences. This is me saying to you, your emotions are not helping with natural consequences, because what makes her mad doesn't make me mad. And it might make him actually giggle and make him say, I don't give a shit. And what that means is that the kid can look at our 4 reactions and say, you know what, you're the asshole. It's not, she doesn't get, their parents don't, and they don't. And now it's the emotional game, and the power struggle is about how you feel rather than what they did. Well, you should really think about your future. You should stop telling me what to do. Are either of you wrong? No.